Okay, I'm going to work out the day 13 list program. Create a list of strings. Let's see, let's call it list 1 equals. So you use square brackets and then in quotes. I'm going to use things that could describe the weather. Hot, cold, wet, dry, cloudy, rainy. Now notice each word is contained within quotes and there's commas between them. You have to do it like that. So I said you could do a list of just random words, animals, video games, sports, teams, planets, whatever you want. Please don't do my list. I want you to do something else. Then I ask you to print the list. So print list 1. Let's run this program. There you go. Print's great. Sort the list. So to sort the list, you say list1.sort, and you have to put the parentheses on the end. And then I ask you to print it to show that it got sorted. So a lot of people try to print the list as they're sorting it, and that doesn't work. So we can verify here that why don't we also put a blank line at the top, and then let's say part 1. So here we go, part 1, and we got the list. We got the list sorted. We printed it. Print a single one of the items in the list in a sentence. So I'm going to say print, I hope today is not as, and then I'm going to use the first item in my list. So that's list 1, square bracket 0, because remember they start at 0. So the first item is item 0, which is hot. I'm going to say, I hope today is not as hot as yesterday. And I'm going to have to start this whole thing over again. That's silly. I forgot to put list 1. That's what happened. Today is not as cloudy as yesterday. Oh, I forgot. It's been sorted. Check it out. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's now item 3 is the one I was aiming for. Hot. I hope today was not as hot as yesterday. There you go. Add another string using the append method. So that's list 1.append. What's another weather? Hot, cold, wet, dry, cloudy, rainy, smoky. Is that how you spell smoky? Yep. Just want to make sure I wasn't leading you all astray. So, and then I asked you to print it one more time so we can see that it got added. I hope today is not as hot as yesterday. And then here's smoky at the end. All right, and we're going to do part 2. So let's print a blank line. Let's print part 2. Part 2 says create a new list full of integers in a random order. Now, in case you're not sure what that means, integers are whole numbers, positive or negative whole numbers. So the random order means I don't want them already to be sorted in order. So let's call this list 2 equals, so again, square brackets. And let's I'm just doing random numbers. Okay, I think you'd agree those are not in numerical order. Notice there's no quotes on this. You don't put numbers in quotes if you want them to be treated as numbers. So then it says print the list. This is called list 2. Sort the list, list2.sort. Print the list again so we can see it sorted. Let's see how that works. Yeah, that looks good. Count how many times your age occurs in the list using the count method. Report your results. Print my age. The 8 shows up in the list. List2.count 58. So you would use your age, not mine, because you're not 58 years old. And I didn't put 58 into the list, so it's not there. And then add your age to the list and print it again. So adding it is append. Sorry, list2.append. And then I'm going to add 58. And then, let's count it again. So you can use that same line. Oh, I'll print it again. Print list2. So my age shows up 0 times. My age shows up 1 times. And you could have put your age in the beginning. That would have been fine. And then it would have been 1 and then 2 times. Okay, we're doing great. Let's go on to part 3. So print another blank line. Print part 3. Print a message saying you're going to ask the user to create their own list of things to keep track of. So print. We're going to make a list of things you want to keep track of. Print. Enter nothing when you are done. So then, while true, item equals input, please enter an item to add to the list. And I'm doing this to not be off the end. And now we're gonna, before we add it to the list, oh, I forgot, we have to make a list. We'll call it list 3, and we're gonna make it an empty list. Now, before we add item to the list 3, we have to check if it's empty. If item equal empty quotes. So notice that's empty quotes, not quotes with a space in them. That's not the same as empty. If item is nothing, then we break. Else, list3.append item. And then I asked you to print how many items were in the list every time the list happens. Print, let's say len list 3 items now in your list. So then after the loop, so I'm right here. Notice my blinking cursor is lined up with all these things. If I hit backspace once, now I'm out of the loop. Once out of the loop, print the entire list. Print list 3. I'm going to actually also say your list. So we don't need the space there. Your list. Sort the list. List3.sort. Print the sorted list. I'm going to just line it up nice here. Your list, sorted, and that's it. And let's run it. So part 1, part 2, part 3, we're going to make a list of things you want to keep track of. Enter nothing when you're done. Please enter an item to add to the list. I'm going to say pizza. 1 item is now in your list. Please enter an item to add to the list. Ice cream, bananas, apples, strawberries. Okay, and then when I'm going to hit enter, here's the list. pizza, ice cream, bananas, apples, strawberries, and here it is sorted. And we're all done. So I am asking you to highlight the entire output and then to right click over here, say copy, then come over here, just hold the shift key down, type the quote character 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and notice we're right in the middle between 6 quotes. You can do Control V to paste, and this shows me that you tested your program. And I want you, I didn't spend any time looking at the output for part 1 and part 2 because I tested it as I went along. But I did check part 3. Notice there's no empty item here. We didn't accidentally add the empty item to the list. That was what this if statement was about. And I checked that it was sorted. And that's it. That's an excellently, very well made, well done project, if I do say so myself.